Futura Pro is a versatile key cutting machine. One machine for standard, edge cut, laser, track style, and dimple keys. It cuts by direct code, indirect code, or duplication. Optional accessories expand its capabilities to cut tibi and tubular keys as well. The safety shield covers the working parts and contains chips during the cutting process, ensuring operator safety. It must be raised to clamp keys or to perform other operations such as calibration. Should the shield be raised while the machine is operating, a micro switch will deactivate all operations, including the cutter. To continue, simply lower the shield and follow the prompts provided on the tablet. The emergency stop button is a safety feature located on the right side of the machine. Push in to immediately stop the machine. Rotate the stop button clockwise to restore power. This can also be used to power off the machine when not in use. The left side of the Futura Pro is the standard edge cut side. The 01F cutter and the 01V clamp is for cutting edge cut keys. The optical laser reader is for duplicating and decoding edge cut keys. The shoulder gauge is for proper alignment of shoulder stop keys. Above the clamp is a tool holder for the tracers and cutters for laser and dimple keys. The right side of the Futura Pro is the laser, track, and dimple side. The 01R clamp holds dimple and laser keys. The cutter spindle holds the appropriate cutter or tracer for calibration purposes. The mobile tracer is used to decode dimple and laser keys. Note: the machine is shipped with a steel rod installed on the laser cut side to prevent the Allen screw and the cutter spindle from backing out during shipment. Remove and discard this rod and install the proper cutter prior to cutting a key. A collection tray is located at the bottom of the Futura Pro. Use the brush to sweep or brush shavings into the slots under the work area. Then remove the tray for easy disposal of the shavings. Important: keep operational parts of the machine clean of shavings. Never use compressed air to clean shavings. They could be blown into the electronics and create a short. Also, never use oily products or thinners to clean painted surfaces, clamps, or electronic connections. Retain the carton and packing should you ever need to ship the Futura for repair. Prior to use, the tablet must be fully charged. There are two USB ports on the back of the Futura Pro. The top port is used to charge the battery on the tablet. The bottom port is used to tether the tablet to the machine and for updating the software of the machine or downloading log files from the machine to a USB pen. Once fully charged, the tablet is ready to set up. Please refer to the Quick Start Guide packed with the machine or the Software Operating Guide, which is on the tablet, for step-by-step instructions on setting up the tablet. To access the Software Operating Guide, open the Futura program and select Options, Info, and tap the Software Operating Guide icon to view the guide. Next, connect Futura Pro to the tablet. The Futura Pro software resides within the machine. The tablet provides the operating system to run the software. The Futura Pro can be set up in one of 4 operating modes. Please refer to the Software Operating Guide for more detailed information on each mode. For this example, we're connecting via Access Point mode. Power up the machine by turning the red emergency stop button until it pops out. The white light indicates Futura Pro is on. Power up the tablet. When the machine and tablet are switched on, the connection automatically activates in around 2 minutes. If it does not connect automatically, check the Wi-Fi connection from the tablet to see if the machine is included in the Wi-Fi networks that are found. Futura Pro machine will appear as Silca Futura. If it is not connected, pick Silca Futura and input the password, which corresponds to the Futura Pro serial number, made up of 13 numbers. To start the Futura program, select the Silca icon on the home screen. A message will appear. Please wait reloading. Once the connection is made, it can take several minutes for the software to download from the machine to the tablet. In access point mode, the tablet connects directly to the machine via a Wi-Fi signal generated by the machine. In local network mode, the Futura Pro and the tablet are connected through a Wi-Fi router or cabled network. This mode allows internet access with the tablet and is used for updating the software. Refer to the software operating manual for additional information. Another connection option is tethering USB mode. This method is used to connect the machine to the tablet by means of the USB cable, power cable, provided with the tablet. Refer to the software operating manual for additional information. Once the Futura program is open, select Options to set up the software. Select Settings, Options, General. Select Measurement Unit. From the factory it's set at hundredths of a millimeter. You can change this to thousandths of an inch. Language. By default, the software comes set to English. Select any language you want to display. Preferences Standard Key. Select the two boxes for cutting check and check installed key. A check mark should appear in each box. Notice that the Use Any Clamp box is checked by default. We will cover this feature later. The cutting check function is used to ensure that the maker's maximum adjacent cut rule is not violated when the user inputs direct cuts, meaning that it prevents a deep cut next to a shallow cut that could erase the shallow cut. The Check Installed Key function, when enabled, will use the optical reader to determine if a double-sided edge cut key has been properly aligned in the jaw when you switch to the second side of the key. Any alignment errors will be offset. This function is only for keys with cuts on both sides. Be sure to save these settings. The Use Any Clamp box is checked enabled by default. When this function is enabled, the key to be cut can be positioned on a clamp side different from the default clamp shown in the software. The software will use the optical reader to determine the edge of the key blank in order to adapt cuts to the key blank being used. It applies only to double-sided keys. Attention! This option is valid for cutting by direct or indirect code only, not decoding. Preferences Dimple Track Key. Select Mobile Tracer, Save. If you're still in the Options menu, press the Home button at the top of screen to return to the main menu of the Futura program. The Home button at the bottom will take you to the home screen for the tablet. Review the software operating guide to become familiar with all of the functions of the software and the machine. Here are a few tips to get you started. Search. This menu is used to select a category of series searches. The standard key search is limited to edge cut commercial and residential keys. The vehicle keys search is used to search for both edge cut and laser cut applications for automotive, truck, and motorcycle keys. The Dimple Track Keys search is limited to commercial and residential applications for dimple and laser keys. Full key searching is not restricted and will show all applications in the database. Transponder Guide contains transponder key copying solutions. Copy by Original. This function is used to quickly duplicate an exact copy of a working edge cut key by means of the optical reader. It can only be used for edge cut keys. See details in decoding standard edge cut keys of this video. Favorites. Code series that you use frequently can be put into your Favorites menu to eliminate search time when you need to access that card again. To move a code series to the Favorites menu, press the star icon to the left of a code series. The star will turn black, denoting that it has been saved to the Favorites menu. To remove it from Favorites, press the star again. Queue of Jobs. This menu is used to run a job queue previously created from the search menus, or a job that was downloaded from Create a Key or Instacode code programs. Options. This menu is used to set up the machine and perform maintenance functions. Info section displays specifications of the Futura Pro machine and the software programs. It also shows serial number and MAC address used for remote software updates. Calibration, used when calibrating components of the machine. Settings, used for the zero-point calibration of the stepper motors, setting the options discussed earlier, and choosing the network settings for communication with the machine and registration of the machine with the Silca server. Maintenance, used for testing different functions for maintenance purposes. Upgrades, checks for upgrades available. Requires a local network connection. Backup Restore, used to create a backup of a user database and restore the last saved file on a USB drive that can be connected via the machine's USB port. User Series. This function is available to the user to import a code table in XML CASO, CSV or TXT format, and associate it to a data card, thereby creating a new user series. The 01V clamp holds edge-cut keys. It has 4 jaw positions. The jaw position required is displayed on the tablet screen based on the type of key to be decoded and/or cut by copying or by code. Positioning the correct side is quick and easy. With the clamp jaws open slightly, rotate the clamp by hand to the required position. To copy keys using the Copy by Original function, the user will decide which side is the most suitable for the key being copied. When manually entering the cuts or cutting by code, the user can decide which side is most suitable as long as the Use Any Clamp feature is enabled in the software. When decoding a key, the choice of clamp is established by the software, and the clamp position indicated by the software must be used. When loading a key into the jaw, the key must be gauged properly. Keys with shoulders are gauged with the shoulder stop gauge or stop position 0. To raise the gauge into position, gently pull the gauge towards the operator and turn clockwise about 180 degrees. Load the key into the clamp with the shoulder pushed up to the stop on the gauge. Once the key is clamped, rotate the shoulder gauge back into its idle position against the stop pin. The machine will not operate until the shoulder gauge is in the idle position. Keys without shoulders are gauged using the tip of the key. There are 4 tip-stop positions on each jaw. To gauge a key by the tip, place the tip-stop bar into the appropriate slot, 1, 2, or 3. To gauge a key in tip position 4, use the Stop 4 tool included with the toolkit. Place the tool onto the clamp so that it fits into slot 3, allowing you to slide the key into the back side of the jaw, Stop 4. Remember to remove the Stop tool before attempting to cut the key. Let's use the search menu to cut a key for a 2012 Ford Escape. Select Vehicle Keys, select Vehicle Make, and a keyboard appears on the tablet. Start typing the vehicle's make, i.e. Ford, or scroll down to the list to find the manufacturer you are looking for. In this case, we are selecting Ford USA. At this point, you can select the model of the vehicle from the drop-down box, or simply select All to display all of the cards and code series in the database for Ford USA. When you select a specific model from the drop-down box, the next screen allows you to select the model year, or again, you can select All to show all code series used over the life of that particular model. Once the list of code series cards are shown, select the code series or card you wish to use. The more information you enter, the shorter the search list will be. Once you have entered the search parameters, tap the Search button. Since the only search parameter we used in this example was vehicle make, There are 9 pages of possible code series to choose from. As you highlight each code series, notice the display on the right shows the lock manufacturer and applications that use the code series and possible ILCO key blanks. There are 3 folders on the top right of the screen. Information shows information about the lock make, applications, and ILCO key blank. Applications show the key blank application, locks, cylinders, vehicle model, etc. Card shows information on accessories that may be required to cut keys on the Futura Pro machine. Let's go back to the home screen and do another vehicle search. This time we will enter the vehicle make Ford USA, model Escape, and model year or range 2012. Note that there are 4 different code series and cards displayed. Code series 1X1706X is an 8-cut edge key using card 612. Code series 10001-11500 is a 2-track, 10-cut laser type key. Code series 11501-13000 is a 2-track, 7-cut laser type key. And code series 12345 is used in Taiwan. The key we are looking for is an edge cut key, so I will select code series 1X1706X. With the code series highlighted, select the green card icon and wait for the card to open. The left side of the screen shows all of the technical details relating to the selected cutting card. For example, card, SN code if entered, lock system, profile, series, depth measurements, spacing measurements, cutting angle, and key blank dimension. The right side of the screen contains the following functions. Code. If you know the indirect code of the key and you did not enter it in the search screen, you can enter the information here by selecting Code. A code search box will open. Select Code and enter the indirect code with the keyboard. Cuts. If you do not know the indirect code, but you know the depths for each cut or the direct code, you can manually enter the information by selecting Cuts on the card menu. Decoding. If you have a working key and you do not know either the direct or indirect code, you can decode the key by selecting Decoding from the card menu. Manual corrections. This option allows the user to adjust both the spacing y-axis and the depths x-axis of a key to be cut. Partial cuts. This option is used to make a search for codes within the code table, if applicable, when only part of the direct cuts are known. For example, if you are presented with a broken key, you enter the depth known and hit Search. The screen will display possible indirect codes within the code series. Card Options is used for editing parameters such as cut type. Alternative cutting methods can be chosen from flat, track, or normal. Cutter designates the cutter to be used. Clamp designates the clamp to be used. Key blank dimension shows the stem width of the key associated with this card. Info card displays information about the clamp, side, and stop to be used, cutter, and key blank. Queue of job is used to place selected jobs in a queue to be cut at a later time. Note displays data card notes, if any, providing further information relating to the position of the key or any needed accessory, etc. Measurements show detailed space and depth information for the lock system. In this example, I'm going to cut the key by the indirect code 0084X. So I will tap Code on the right side menu and enter the indirect code. Next, select Cut to begin the cutting process. The screen displays a picture of how the key is to be loaded into the 01V clamp. In this example, the key is loaded on clamp side A. Since I'm going to be cutting by code, and the Use Any Clamp feature has been activated, see box checked, I can choose any clamp side to position the key. When clamping a double-sided key for cutting by direct or indirect code, it is best to use side C or D to clamp the key using the milling groove in the blade of the key. You should always use the milling groove that is furthest from the cutter in order to expose as much key to the cutter as possible. If that groove is on the bottom side of the key blade, you would use side C. If it is on the top side of the blade, you would use side D. Notice that with this particular key, the milling groove runs down the center of the blade on both sides, so I can use either side C or D. In this case, I will be using side C to clamp the key in the milling groove. Since this blank does not have a shoulder, it will be gauged using the tip of the key blade. The stop position shown is 4, located at the back of the clamp, so I will use the Stop 4 tool. Place the tool onto the clamp so that it fits into slot 3, allowing you to slide the key into the back side of the jaw, Stop 4. Remember to remove the stop tool before attempting to cut the key. Lower the safety shield and select Start. The machine will cut the first side of this two-sided key. You will be prompted to turn the key over for side 2. Tip: Futura Pro's database will indicate clamp side A on most two-sided automotive keys. When you are decoding a key, you must use the jaw position designated by the software. As mentioned earlier, when manually entering the cuts or cutting by code, the user can decide which side is most suitable as long as the Use Any Clamp feature is enabled in the software. Let's review the procedure for decoding edge cut keys. The first step is selecting the proper card. Since we just cut this key, we will use the same card. Once the card is open, select Decoding. The screen will display the card and SN to decode the key and also show the clamp, jaw position, and stop position. Notice the software requires clamp side A. Since you are loading a key that has been cut on both sides, you will not have a flat edge to assist in aligning the key in the jaw. Load the key into the jaw using tip position 4 and make sure that the key is against the inner side of the clamp wall. Using the milling groove on the key as a guide, load the key so that the milling groove is parallel to the face of the jaw and tighten the clamp. Once the key is loaded properly, select Start to begin the decoding process. The optical reader is used to decode edge cut keys. Once decoded, the tablet displays the cuts and the indirect code for the decoded key. If an indirect code is not displayed, either the key did not decode properly or the specific direct code read is not in the database. This could be due to the use of an aftermarket ignition or lock. When decoding a key, Futura Pro will determine if the key is worn. If it detects wear, it will cut the duplicate to original equipment manufacturer's OEM specifications. To view the decoded measurements and the measurements read on the key, select Decoded Data on the bottom of the screen. If you wish to cut the key to the measurements read, rather than the OEM spec, check the box Copy Key with Measurements Read. Then select Cut to cut the key using the actual measurements read. To cut the key to OEM specifications, simply select Cut. Select Copy by Original to start the process. This function is used to quickly duplicate an exact copy of a working edge-cut key by means of the optical reader. It is only used for edge-cut keys. Note, if the working key shows excess wear and you use this function, you will create a copy of a worn key. Refer back to the decoding procedure described in Segment 8 to obtain original specifications or cuts on a worn key. On the left of the screen, select the clamp for reading and cutting the key. Then select the stop position, 0 for a shoulder stop, or tip stop 1, 2, 3, or 4. When choosing a tip stop position, make sure the stop you choose will allow the entire length of the key blade to be read by the optical reader. In most cases, this will be tip stop 4. Clean the optical reader carefully with the brush before starting the process. Then select Read to begin. When completed, remove the key and load the key blank, positioning it with the same stop. Select Copy to start cutting. The 01R clamp is used for clamping dimple and laser keys. The 01J and 02J jaw combination is shipped preloaded into the 01R clamp. This combination of jaws cuts the vast majority of keys in the marketplace. Dimple and laser track keys are gauged using either the shoulder or the tip of the key. To gauge a shoulder stop key, slide the key into the clamp until the shoulder is against the edge of the jaw surface. Stop position 0. The tip stop positions are 1 through 3, with 1 being the slot closest to the operator. When placing a key into the clamp, place the tip stop gauge in the proper tip position and fit the key into the seat between the two jaws. Ensure the key is resting firmly on the clamp plate at the required stop position. Tighten the knob to secure the key in place. Always remove the tip stop bar prior to cutting or decoding a key. Loosen the clamp, place your finger behind the 01J jaw and pull it towards the front of the machine. Load the 19J jaw into position and slide it back until it snaps into place. The 19J, 04J, and any other optional jaws must be calibrated to the Futura machine prior to use. The calibration process will be covered in clamp calibration dimple laser keys. We will demonstrate the search menu by cutting a key for a Kia with the indirect code of KG0377. In this example, instead of inputting vehicle make and model, I'm just going to enter the indirect code in the search menu and select Search. The machine will search the database and list all code series that this indirect code might be included in. The only code series that comes up is for a Kia 4-track 6-cut laser key. Select Card, and the screen shows an example of what the cut key will look like. and I can compare it to the actual working key I have. Before we cut this key, let's review the rest of the card menus. The right side of the screen contains the same functions as the card for edge-cut keys in the previous example. Code. If you know the indirect code of the key that you will be cutting and did not enter it into the search menu, select Code. A code search box opens. Select Code and enter the indirect code by using the keyboard. Cuts. If you do not know the indirect code, but do know the depths for each cut, manually enter that information by selecting Cuts on the card menu. Decoding. If you have a working key and do not know either the direct or indirect code, you can decode the key by selecting Decoding from the card menu. A box opens showing how to load the key to complete the decoding process. Manual corrections. This option allows you to adjust the spacing, y-axis, and the depths, x-axis and z-axis, of a key to be cut. Partial cuts. This option is used for code searches when only part of the direct cuts are known, as when you are presented with a broken key. Enter the depths known and hit Search. The screen will display possible indirect codes within the code series. Card options are used for editing certain parameters on the card. Info card displays information about the tracer, cutter, key blank, clamp, left and right jaws, and stop position. Queue of job is used to place selected jobs in a queue to be cut at a later time. Note. This displays data card notes, if any, providing further information relating to the position of the key, accessory required, etc. Measurements shows detailed space and depth information for the lock system. Since I entered the indirect code on the search screen at the beginning of this section, the key I want to cut is already displayed on the tablet. All I need to do is tap Cut to begin the process. Loading the key. The next screen displays an image of the clamp and jaw combinations required. For this example, the 01J and 02J jaws should be loaded into the 01R clamp. The cutter used to cut this key is the standard 01L or 01LW cutter. Since this key does not have a shoulder, it will be gauged using the tip. The stop position shown is 2, the second set of slots on the jaws. Place the tip stop bar into those slots and place the key in the jaw, resting the tip against the tip stop bar. Make sure the key is seated flat and clamp the key. Remove the tip stop bar before attempting to cut the key. Use the brush to clean shavings from the clamp so the cutter calibrates properly. Lower the safety shield and select Start. The cutting tower comes down and the cutter touches the top of the jaw, so the depth of cut on the Z-axis is correct. Once this measurement is made, the cutting begins. After side 1 is cut, you're prompted to raise the shield and turn the key to side 2. Again, make sure all of the shavings are brushed from the jaw surfaces prior to loading the key. Follow the same procedure to load and gauge the key to cut side 2. Select Start to resume cutting. Before removing the key we cut in the last section, let's review the procedure for decoding a laser key. The first step is to select the proper card. Since we just cut this key, we will use the same card. I had previously saved this card to the Favorites menu, so we do not have to do another search. Go to the Favorites menu and select the card code series to decode this key. Once the card is open, select Decoding. The screen displays the card and SN to be used for decoding the key, and also shows the clamp jaw combination, stop position, and tracer that is required. Dimple and laser track keys use either the 01T mobile tracer or the 02T tracer. In most cases, you'll be prompted to use the mobile tracer for laser keys. Once the key is loaded properly, select Start to begin the decoding process. Now you'll be prompted to lower the mobile tracer. Futura Pro uses an electrical contact through the tracer to decode laser and dimple keys. Based on the data from the card, the tracer will touch off at each designated space to determine the depth of cut. Once the depths are determined, the screen will show the decoded depths and the indirect code for the key. Select Cut. Raise the mobile tracer by raising the lever and moving it to the right. Remove the pattern key that was just decoded. Load the key blank and select Start to begin the cutting process. The 01R clamp and the 01J, 02J jaws on the dimple and laser track side of the machine are factory calibrated prior to shipping. The 19J in combination with the 02J jaw is used to clamp the two track keys used on Ford, VW Audi, Volvo, and Porsche applications. This jaw, and any other optional jaws you may purchase, must be calibrated to the machine prior to use. From the Home menu, select Options, Calibration, Clamps, Dimple Track Keys. The right side of the screen will display each of the possible 01R combinations available for the machine. To calibrate the 19J, 02J jaw combination, scroll down and select 01R, 19J, 02J. Calibration of the jaws requires the use of the 02T tracer. Remove the cutter install the tracer into the cutter spindle. And tighten the Allen screw. Remove the 01J jaw and replace it with the 19J jaw. Tighten the clamp as if clamping a key. Select Start to begin the calibration process. You will receive a reminder to read the instruction manual before proceeding. Once you've reviewed the instructions, select OK. The next screen verifies the specific clamp jaw combination to be calibrated. Since the machine uses electrical contact for calibration of these jaws, you need to carefully clean the clamp and tracer before you begin the process. Select Start to begin the calibration. Select Yes to confirm jaw combination. Select Yes to confirm 02 tracer is installed, then press Start. Once completed, a box will appear showing the readings taken. Select Yes to save the data. Select OK to complete the operation. The 01R 19J 02J combination is ready for use. To avoid breaking the tracer tip, remove the 02T tracer and reinstall the cutter before attempting to cut a key. The 01V clamp for edge cut keys is factory calibrated prior to shipping. At some point during your use of the machine, the clamp may require calibration again, or you may purchase optional clamps that will need to be calibrated before use. To do so, follow these instructions. From the Home menu, select Options, Calibration, Clamps Standard Keys. The right side of the screen will display the clamps available for the edge cut side of the Futura. For this example, we'll select the 01V clamp. Select Start to begin the calibration process. You'll receive a reminder to read the instruction manual before proceeding. Once you have reviewed the instructions, select OK. Calibration of the 01V clamp requires the use of the Z3 template key. The illustration on the tablet shows how to properly load the Z3 calibration key into clamp side A using stop 0. Load the Z3 template key as shown. And select Start to begin the process. The next screen verifies the specific clamp to be calibrated. Select Yes. Check the Z3 template installed. Select Yes, then press Start to begin. During the calibration process, the cutter will actually shave the Z3 key by making several passes over the cutter. At this point, you will be prompted to carefully clean the optical reader and the Z3 calibration key without removing it. After cleaning, close the shield and select Start to continue. The machine will now use the Z3 template to calibrate the optical reader. When the process is completed, select Yes to save the data. Select OK. Notice that the clamp calibrated box indicates that the clamp has been calibrated. In order to download the machine software updates, you must first be registered on the Silca Web Futura server. This operation is required only on the first access. It is recommended that you register the machine and update the software prior to operation in order to ensure that you have the latest firmware and database available. Please refer to the Software Operating Guide, Section 7, Machine Update and Registration, to see the 4 methods available to register and update the machine. You might find it helpful to download the Silca Remote Service Program Method 3 to a local PC for use in registering and updating the software of your Futura Pro machine. Once you have downloaded the Silca Remote Service Program onto your PC, you can use it at any time to update the software for your machine.